Hi, I'm Sister Penny Wofford, and hope you all are doing well. I'm getting a lot of likes on my Facebook, which is kind of surprising me. I don't know. It's cool. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Thank you for those who are liking me. Love you back. Y'all are fabulous. I also have a YouTube channel now, and I have a link to it on my Facebook page. And it's pretty much the same videos that I post on Facebook, but heck, why not, right? YouTube seems like something everyone's doing, and I'm probably a little late to the game, but hey, better late than never, right? Tonight, I was thinking about this song. I listen to a variety of music, right? I listen to 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, 90s, a little bit of 90s. I mean, just whatever. I mean, I try to keep somewhat current on music, although I have to admit, 80s are my favorite, but you can imagine why, right? But actually, there was a song that came out in 1969 and is by David Bowie, and it's called Space Oddity. Now, a lot of people know the song, the Major Tom song, right? And I remember when I first heard this song, it really made me sad because here's this guy, right? This adventurer, this astronaut, and he goes out and he's just like doing his thing. He goes presumably to the moon. I don't know. They don't really specify. He's just out in space somewhere. And the beginning of the song is like, hey, we got you, we're tracking you, can you hear us? We can hear you, life is grand, let's just, and I love how one of the lines is, the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. And I find that to be pretty dang true, right? Whenever someone is successful, they're like, oh, what brand do you wear? Who cares, right? But hey, whatever. It's kind of a neat little line, I think, that they threw in there. Just kind of shows the state of how people think. Anyway, so this song really kind of made me sad because, as y'all know, Major Tom's just kind of like hanging out, just like, whoa, man, this is wild out here, right? I mean, I've never seen the stars from this perspective before, right? I mean, who had? And so he's really kind of in this state of wonder and awe. And of course, back on ground control, they're starting to go, hey, can you hear us? Something's wrong, something's going wrong, and they're freaking out, right? And he's still up there, just like, hey man, this is kind of cool. I don't know what to expect here, but it's kind of neat, right? And so presumably the song leaves us kind of hanging. Do they ever get Major Tom? Does he ever come home or not? Well, then in 1983, I guess somebody, Peter Schilling, just couldn't take the suspense anymore. So he gives us a narrative where Major Tom does come home, and things are great and wonderful and whatever, he's home. So I just think it's kind of funny how, as humans, we can't stand to have something undone, right? It's got to be a nice, especially Americans, nice little bow on top, and everything is just perfect and all this. But I did a little research and found out that the song, the Major Tom, the Peter Schilling version in the 80s, was actually done by a German man. So it's not just the Americans who liked a nice fairy tale ending, right? The Germans presumably do too. But I would like to argue that this song is not a sad song. Actually, it's a very encouraging song, because here you have this man, the David Bowie version I'm going back to, who is just such an adventurer. He's just on the cutting edge, right? He's the only one who had the courage to get into this tin can, as he calls it, and float around in space. And then not only does he do that, he gets out of the tin can and he puts on his helmet, takes his protein pills as he's instructed by ground control, and he's just floating around like, whoa, this is awesome. So where am I going with this? Good question. I think this song is very uplifting and encouraging, as I said, because we do have a man here who's willing to take a risk and go out and see what's out there and be a wanderer, an adventurer, a pioneer, right? And I think a lot of times in life, that's how we are and how I feel I personally should be, is this pioneer and looking at things from a different perspective, right? So he sees the stars and the earth from a different perspective, and he's gaining a lot of insight and knowledge about what's going on. And ground control can't see it. They don't understand what he's going through, but he does. And I think it's a huge epiphany kind of moment. Was for me when I started thinking about this song, instead of being sad about this dude kind of floating out in space and being gone forever, that it's a metaphor for our lives, and it's a metaphor for growth, and it's a metaphor for the people that we leave behind, but not necessarily intentionally. It's people that we outgrow. It's people that we no longer serve and no longer serve us in our lives. And it's hard and it's sad and I hate it. Genuinely, I hate it. But there are times in our lives when we just have to let go. And this is just one of those times for me personally. I'm speaking obviously for myself, but I think maybe that's why that song hit me so hard, is just thinking about the people I've had to let go and the people that I no longer have in my life on a daily basis like I used to. And it is sad. However, I do know that when you do release, like Major Tom, when you do release the old and you prepare yourself for something new, you don't know what's going to be out there. You don't know. And it could be terrifying or it could be glorious. So why don't we look at it as a glorious thing, right? It's just so amazing to be able to have the opportunity to grow and to just develop and to be better people, right? And I'm not saying people who, I no longer associate with are not good people, because they are good people. It's just, as I said, we serve each other differently at different times in our lives, and it's just a different time. But that's all I have for this evening. I just felt like sharing my 2 cents worth on Major Tom, because it just really struck me when I heard this song and I heard the courageousness of this astronaut, albeit a fictional astronaut, but astronaut nonetheless. All right, take care.